when you play 100% assassins is you just say night night.
I was gonna say that sounds like Impact when he was back on C9. Top die.
Night night. Or okay, I will actually be. I'm gonna wait until they get through pick or ban phase. Once they're done with ban phase, then I'll say a pick that I really hope that they pick. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2. I'm XLNC Shoutcasting. All these games are gonna be on YouTube for you to share with your friends and family, and I'm going to be trying to make a highlight reel as well at some point in the next week. Also, the bigger the better the play, the more likely you will get to be the hero of the day play that I post every day on Facebook as well as Twitter, as well as sometimes share it, not always because I'm actually bad about that, on Discord. If you want to check out the social links below, they are down below. I just finished this last week revamping the whole bottom side of the Twitch stream, and so you guys can get to those links a lot easier and check them out, as we're getting some pretty heavy hitters banned away. The Aurelia as well as Darius and Leona taken out across.
I think somebody's been watching Seal.
So it's Sealy, take it away.
Sealy things, they're like, Sealy things will not happen today.
I don't know. It might still happen. The tower play, absolutely. That is definitely one of those highlight plays that's going to be played. There it is. Somebody predicted. Okay, I was going to say, if Team Ollie, Night didn't play Zoe, I would be a little sad because she's got a sleepy time bubble trouble. So
that's fair.
But banned away, won't be seeing it this time. That automatically means the Team Ollie is going to lose. GG, middle child wins. We might as well just end this game and go play something else because the game's already over. So up, down, left, right, A, B. Isn't it A, B start? Or is it just one A, B?
Just one A, B.
All right. Let me see if I can shorten this down. Up, down, left, right, A, B, start. There's the team name. That's a lot simpler than all of those words. Keep it short, keep it simple, guys. Keep it short, keep it simple. Rakan, picked up by Rakan. I'm totally shocked that Rakan is playing Rakan. We actually get to have the player and the champion matchup this time around. Guys, I could cry. It's so beautiful.
But wait, there's also Draven down there. Oh, we get to see new Aatrox played by... Oh, gosh, Seal doing Sealy things on the new Aatrox.
On the new Aatrox?
Oh,
this
man.
is hype! This is seriously hype at this point. So Delicious Seal is well known for doing Sealy things to the point that he's probably going to become an emote on the stream because it is 3 games in a row, I think, week after week, that he has gone back to back and just played immaculately, done an incredible job, outplaying 1v2s, no issue, and now we get to see him on the new Aatrox, which I've heard is a bit of a difficult champion to truly take over a game with because some of his Riven 2.0 mechanics of his Q can be a little difficult to land. But if there's anyone that can do it, I would put it on Delicious Seal or Nong Nong because Nong Nong is just...
But knowing Nong Nong will play like
AP, Aatrox.
AP, Aatrox support or something like that. DRF dive, locking in the Aurelian Saul. I like this.
Saul. Vespery picked up by Phantom Attempt as well, and we are through the first pick phases at this point, which is a massive amount of engage and team fight, which means it's going to be bloody, and I am liking it so far. You've got the dash forwards of the Master Yi and Aatrox. You've got the distance AP blasting away of the Brand and Aurelian Soul, and then you've got those supports of Ashe and Rakan, because, yes, Ashe is a support. No, okay. I don't know, with the crit changes and it taking her now to get 3 items before she's really strong in lane, my one issue with Ashe is that I do fear it's going to take her a while to come online. So for the most part at the beginning of the game, she kind of is that supportive role, just using those Enchanted Crystal Arrows for engages.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see her, honestly, in a supportive role. Maybe even flip it up if Social Bun takes that Brand into the bot lane. We could see Brand as the main and Ashe as a support, basically supplying the slows to make sure Brand lands more consistent abilities. I could see that working. I don't think that's what they've got in mind, but I could definitely see it being something that they could produce good results with.
And this is also the first time we've seen, I think, Social Bun play Brand, so I'm excited to see that happen. One of the things with Social Bun is she usually plays tanks in the top lane, but this time it's going to be Delicious Seal doing Sealy things up there, so instead she may be rolling towards the mid lane or duoing with the Ashe in the bottom lane as a supportive carry role that Brand has played nowadays. Xeno picked up by Thresh picked up by Xeno. Is it going to be Thresh in the mid lane and a supportive Aurelion Soul? We'll have to find out. Is Draven going to play Draven? They're pairing their names! And this is the greatest game ever so far. As Jaces picks up the Jax, he's going into the jungle. And we've got one last counter pick that I don't even know where the heck half these people are going for Team Ollie. But at this point, right now, this game's getting pretty hyped, guys. I won't lie.
Well, I'm sure Enzlor's pick is going to lock everything in, and we're going to see exactly what their plan is. Yeah, actually, I like this. Okay. There's the swap. So we're going to see Social Bun on Annie. And I believe that is going to be Enzlor on Brand in the support role. Possibly being the carry down there in the bottom lane. I guess it just depends on how they attack whatever comes against them. Xeno and Rakan both sitting on Ignite right now, as well as DRF Dive, actually. So 3 Ignites on the side of Team Middle Child. I'm liking this. It's a lot of team fight, a lot of lockdown from both sides, which is going to create a very big bloodbath. I do like this. This is looking good.
It's pretty exciting. I really want to see Delicious Seal on this Aatrox in the top lane. One of the other things I would have liked to see if we could have had it, but we aren't, is if Social Bun had picked up Riven and played the Battle Bunny Riven skin. That would have just paired up a little bit more. But as it is, I guess Delicious Seal could also play the Earth Nami skin. But anyway, let's go through picks at this point. For Team Middle Child, it's going to be Rakan playing Rakan. What? DRF Dive taking Aurelion Soul, most likely for the mid lane. Venom of Temp on the jungle of the Master Yi. DRF Xeno with the teleport, probably a top lane Thresh. And the bottom lane 80 carry role, Big Black Draven takes the Draven, which is just fantastic.
And on the side of Team Ollie, you've got Alkaline SN piloting the Ashe in the bot lane. Delicious Seal doing Sealy things on new Aatrox. So first time we'll see that on the stream. Wonderful to have it. Social Bun taking Annie into what looks to be the mid lane. So Jace is on Jax in the jungle. And Enzlor with the Brand going in the bot lane with the Ashe.
Seems about right. So it is going to be Annie played in the mid lane instead of Brand, who's just kind of picked up to make sure that he didn't get banned away in rotation number 2. The bottom lane combo power of Brand and Ashe is actually frightening when you think of, especially post 6, a long distance Enchanted Crystal Arrow engaged from the Ashe straight into the CC chain of a Brand, as well as his ulti bouncing around. Should be pretty darn explosive if anything is to be said about that. We'll have to find out whether or not the team of Middle Child can deal with it. What do you think about these teams, though?
You know, I'm a little biased, but I do like how much lockdown Team Ollie has. You can go Annie ult into additional stuns. You can go Ashe ult into additional stuns. Brand has a stun. They've got 4 different stuns on their team, which can then be layered on top of by Delicious Seal's Aatrox with the knockups. And as a result, I don't know that the members of Team Middle Child are going to be able to A, stay alive through all of those stuns, or B, get out of it. It's almost going to necessitate that Big Black Draven and Phantom of Temp both take a Quicksilver stash if they do want to stay out of that CC chain. And honestly, I don't know that they will go for it.
Yeah, taking that QSS tax is what's going to be needed against a team in which pretty much every champion has some layer of either heavy or light CC. Most of them heavy. I mean, you got the stun from Ashe, Enchanted Crystal Arrow. You've got the mini knockups from the Aatrox. You've got Tibbers stun from Annie. Jax with his E, as well as Brand with his, not passive, but combo power of his E and Q. So the one thing for Middle Child is they have a lot of either disengage or potential outplay. It's going to be a mechanical mastery from them. Because think about Master Yi using his Alpha Strike to avoid whenever he can predict a stun coming out. Think about Draven being able to throw out his axes and knock somebody away who's about to set up for that stun. Rakan being able to jump in and charm everybody up using that quickness to avoid some of those stuns landing. If they can use their own soft CC or just outplay mechanical skill, they could come back. There's a lot of squishy members on the side of Team Ollie. But they really have to be on top of every single moment of this game, because otherwise Team Ollie could just steamroll them right through.
Well, and that's another thing. One of the things that I would be worried about with Team Ollie is their communication. If they do not communicate the layering of that CC properly, they could all blow their crowd control on one target, and then that entire advantage they built up for themselves through this draft phase goes away. They don't have anything left. And so they have to rely on their pure damage. And like you said, they're squishy. They're squishy enough where this Master Yi or this Draven jumping on them. Draven lands one crit on some of these champions that they've got on the side of Team Ollie, and they blow up. They're dead. So it'll be go ahead.
Nope, go right ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Well, I was just gonna say it's gonna be very particular that they have to make sure they are communicating properly if they're gonna come away with a win here.
I'm interested in seeing this electrocute on Rakan. He's also got Ignite, so it might not be your typical supportive Rakan, but instead engage damage-dealing Rakan, which I actually like, because being able to have that extra addition of damage, when you look across the lineup of Team Ollie, tank is not going to save you, right? This is not a team that you're going to be able to out-sustain. Jax, Brand, Annie, I'm sorry, you're just not going to be able to out-sustain against them. So instead, if you go full damage, and it's I blow you up or you blow me up, we're playing Dota 2, that might be a little bit more advantageous for the side of Middle Child. We'll see how they play this one out as we get into game number 2. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this is only game 2 of 3. So we've got a lot more fun coming along. If you are still interested in playing game number 3 and are new, give a shout out as well as let us know, and we'll get you set up for game number 3, because anyone can play. It doesn't matter what your skill level is. You can be unranked or master. Please, if you're master play, that'd be freaking awesome. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, that would be great. Nova, calm down. It's a comparison.
People love different games for different reasons. I love this Draven skin, though. I don't have to have a reason to love this Draven skin. Look at him go.
That is fair.
Look at him
That
go.
is fair.
Can I now get a combination of Draven and Braum, Santa Braum and Santa Draven? Just have it Christmas time in the bottom lane.
I'm pretty sure somebody played that during Christmas.
That would be pretty awesome. That plus maybe this sled singed, and you got him throwing out snow for everybody. We could do this,
and
guys.
Santa Vagar.
If we got too much RP, we're gonna get together a team and play Winter Wonderland. We'll call it. It's all about the names, guys. It's all about the names. Winter Wonderland. But again,
but you don't get any free names.
Normal start, usually, or as per usual, for both of these teams. But the one interesting thing is this bottom lane from the side of Team Middle Child. You can see the Rakan and Draven hiding out inside of the brush here, waiting to see if Team Ollie is going to just walk on in. Now, one of the things about being on the red side is that there are 2 routes for you to go. You could... Hold on a second. Rakan hasn't started anything. I'm actually gonna
he hasn't taken an ability yet. Yeah.
Zone on him and see what he decides to take when the game gets started, because if they waited out, he should start the grand entrance to see if he can pick something up, but they're really waiting around a long time. Here comes Brand. Oh, this is even better for them because it's Brand solo. Here he comes by himself. Grand entrance has been picked up, and Zalor chunks out, but they started a little bit too early, and so just a little chunk, and that's going to be it in the top lane. Aatrox starting off, getting a little bit of damage in the mid lane. Social Bun was knocked extremely low as Dive just layers on the damage with that Ignite as well. Full aggression in the mid lane.
Yeah, Seal's pushing this in pretty hard. Seal's going to hit level 2 pretty quick, and I wouldn't be surprised if Seal used that opportunity to go all in on top lane. We may jump back up there here in just a second.
I should probably move Seal to the top lane because that is his current position. There we go. Everything seemed to just auto-click in. Bam! So, Thresh versus Aatrox. Little Gage in the bottom lane is going to get whiffed. They're going to take a little bit of damage on the way back out, but not much else. When you miss that grand entrance, it's pretty much a call off and don't worry about it. But range on Thresh, even though he is considered a melee champion, might give him enough of a distance on the Aatrox that he doesn't completely lose. There's double knock up in the bottom lane. That's a pretty good damage from the Draven. The heal forced out from the Ashe. He wants one more axe, but not quite going to find the range on that. Here comes Jax from the sidelines. He's got the double stun as well. The flash forward from Rakan. He's going to live for the moment as Draven decides to flash forward with his own axes. One more axe might be enough, but he dies to the tower before that goes down. He's in the top lane. Delicious Seal. This is the 1v2 he's so well known for, but he falls because his ult isn't up yet. And a great roam from Dive. Level 3 gets up there, gets the kill. And now Rakan finding the Gleaming Quill onto Sejaces, setting up Phantom of Tempt. He needs to find one Alpha Strike. He flashes forward, but the jump as well as the flash from Sejaces can't quite find the Alpha Strike bounce. And that means that the Jax should live in the bottom lane as fights across the map is making this game exciting from the get-go.
Absolutely. Ends up being 2 kills for the side of Team Middlechild, 1 for Team Ollie, so not too much tipping scales either way. 800 gold separates these teams, so we're going to be pretty steady for a little while here still.
Yep, and nothing besides kills flying all the way across the map. Oh, I'm really interested. This is a deep red ward from the side of Team Ollie.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw it. Sejaces actually, before coming to bottom lane to do that, stole the red buff away.
Okay, that's where I was kind of...
He's actually uptaking his own red buff right now, so actually he did triple buff Phantom of Tempt.
At the very beginning of the game, forcing the slow. The chain's going to pull Xeno back for a moment, but he's not feeling too hurt by that. Is going this kind of ADC on hit, Thresh in the top lane, avoiding that little extra damage, but the Flay is not going to keep him alive for much longer because Jace is here with that red buff as well. He hooks to a minion, flies in, trying to walk his way to safety, and he does successfully only give gold over to the Aatrox, who feels good after getting ganked early himself.
Actually, that was an intentional move by Sejaces, it looked like, because Sejaces easily could have made it up to Xeno to land an auto attack and get an assist on there, but instead turned around and walked away, giving solo gold on that, which it wouldn't have affected Seal's gold on the kill there. So a very interesting choice by Sejaces to turn around there and not just get some assist gold for himself. Probably didn't want to risk taking the kill away.
Could be. You want the Aatrox as fed as possible, but I mean, a fed Jax never hurt to have as well, as he's going to find Phantom of Tempt, hop in, but Alpha Strike avoids a lot of that damage initially. He's got the trade of
here, but
hits. Here comes Delicious Seal. The chain starting. Can Yi get out of that? He will not. The Flay there from Thresh pulling people in. The Alpha Strike is alive for a moment. He's already going to fall. Dive getting some good damage with those stars spinning around. Will start to hit up Annie as well. He's been stunned up. Going to take a huge amount of damage. Hits the Blast Cone. Nice distance there created by Delicious Seal as well. The chain's ticking away, pulls Dive forward, but nice little side step, keeps him alive for the moment. Ignite ticking away, Flayed back. The hook as well, pulls him underneath the turret, and Delicious Seal falls again. Seal doing Sealy things is not working out this time as Xeno picks up his own kill in the top lane with the help of the Aurelion Soul a second time.
Yeah, we may have hyped Seal up a little bit much, and now people are actively attacking him. So I apologize, Seal. That is my fault. I got really
we have to hype him up more. No, this is still the opportunity. I mean, you look at him, 32 farm to 29. He's still able to hold his own. And again, a lot of that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for basically a double man gank. Everyone joined forces in the river. It just worked out for the Thresh having that CC, pulling the Aatrox constantly underneath the turret and into Aurelion Soul's stars just flying around dealing damage. But now Aatrox has hit level 6, and that's really where his power spike happens. No more will you be able to just freely kill him, because before, he could just grab his passive, come right back up. Nice knock up onto the Ashe. She's gone! One more axe? Well, maybe not. I spoke too soon. Ignite ticking away, and she will not fall. So a very close encounter in the bottom lane, but Ashe lives another moment. In the mid lane, stun for stun. We're just gonna, look at each other from across these minions, and
well, the issue here is that Dive has a 2-level advantage over Social Bun right now, just taking massive advantage of the fact that Social Bun has been pushed out of lane constantly, and as a result, Dive has been able to A, collect farm with a 21 farm lead there, and B, just roam around with sitting at 2-0 and 1 right now on this Aurelion Soul.
Ooh,
Oh,
Jax
so
coming
Jace's.
from behind, but Enzalor in trouble. Knocked up. Draven's got the kill. The barrier keeps him alive for a moment. Turret getting great damage onto Rakan. Both are going to have to back off now as the Jace is here slamming that lamp down. Imagine if he had a real weapon chasing down onto the Draven. He should have W available in a moment, but can he use it against two? Yee's here to try to protect as well.
Ooh.
Phantom of Temp in trouble, being chased out now, using the heal, keeping himself alive for a moment. Ashe is...
Donated the kill.
No, Ashe stole it. Ashe literally walked back and forth and waited until the Yi was low enough health to auto attack once and steal the kill. So Jace is chasing in. Ultimate used already by Aurelion Sol. Tibbers just on him up as well. Not looking good for a dive. He's trying to get over the wall. Hits the blast cone. Lives for the moment and should be able to escape unless this Jax can get across the wall. But Rakan here to try to protect as well. A little bit of a feather slap pushes the Jax out for the moment. Dive's still in a bit of trouble, though. There's the flash forward from Jace's. He's been shielded up. He still stays alive. The Jax falls. Good play by the Rakan. Didn't even need his own flash for that. Just used the shield to get in and save the Aurelion Sol.
That was a fantastic job. I believe he didn't even use quickness for that either, actually. That was strictly the shielding.
That's some pretty decent range on that. I think they actually buffed it so that he can do the same range as he could with Xayah before, which makes him a bit more functional when it comes across all teams and all players. As Phantom Temp using that ultimate to come in, getting the smite down, slow out the Ashe for a moment. The flash forward with the quickness. That should be 2 kills over. Yi going to pick up 1 Phantom of Temp, and Enzalor hiding underneath this turret will be disengaged upon as Team Middle Child decides they've gotten their one. That's enough. Oh, the chains for chains. Xeno now in a bit of trouble as Delicious Seal moves in. He's picked up that Tiamat, so got a little bit of extra damage, forcing that Thresh underneath his turret. Engage upon Brand. Enzalor, nice flash, keeps him alive for a moment. There's no mana left on Draven. Enchanted Crystal are just going to fly right past. So Jace is coming to the top lane as well. The Flay keeps Thresh alive for the moment. He uses the ultimate. That's getting the resurrection on the Aatrox. They're chasing him down. Xeno does so much. One more turret shot to finish off Jace's. The turret isn't needed as Dive here is trying to get what damage he can, chasing out this Jax. He might be able to escape. The star is just on his tail. It's the ultimate to finish him off. And now Delicious Seal turns on the Aatrox, slashing and smashing. But the turret! What? Dive with an incredible last-minute stun keeps himself alive with a sliver of help underneath the turret.
Oh man, that was close. That was really close. Seal is getting a little more aggressive than I'm used to seeing him right now, and as a result, he falls under the tower on that tier 2.
And it is now a 4-0-1 Aurelion Sol. Dive playing this majestic Dragon Man incredibly well. Heads back to the mid lane to push out the Annie once again. He's almost 30 farm over her. In the bottom lane, Middle Child's been doing very well as well with those Yi ganks on top of it. So at this point, Ollie is having a bit of a rough time. They don't have much to go. Alpha Strike just to finish off the Scuttle Crab as well. So Jace is in trouble. The red buff on Yi going to help getting the slow onto the Jax. Dive comes in as well. One more stun, and Star should finish him off. The auto attack to finish off Annie as well. And the double kill goes over to Dive, who is taking complete control over this game.
So Jason and Social Bun really walked into that themselves. They had an opportunity to back out through their ramp into their own jungle, and instead chose to take the path straight into DRF Dive, who had just taken priority in the mid lane. As a result, they walked themselves into a 3v2 situation. Oh, dual.
Oh, there you go. Good plays there in the bottom lane. I thought for a second the quickness wasn't going to land, but Rakan gets the bounce around. Draven going to fall to the turret as the barrier bait from the Brand steals it away. Alliteration on par as Enzalor burns out these minions, pushing him out. Rakan sticking around, though, maybe a little bit too long. Jax comes in here from the river. They do have a ward, though, so they should be able to see that and spot it out. And Rakan should be able to escape.
Yeah. Yep. He's gonna. Well, Jax is still hanging around.
Just trying to bait out the recall cancellation, but heads back out. I was going to be pretty impressed. Jace's. It was right here. It was right here. It was okay. All right. Trigger ended. We're fine. Everything's fine. It takes 2 seconds to walk into a bush and look for a control board. All right, we're moving on. Jax starting up the dragon.
All right, Alkaline found it. There you go.
A mountain drake. So Team Ollie going to be picking up the first drake of the game. No one around from middle child to try to contest for that easy pickup, and that should help if they ever get onto a turret. The question is, can this Aatrox, Delicious Seal, 20 farm up, finished Hydra, be able to push out this top lane as we've seen him do so many times before? So Jace is clearing a ward in the bottom side. It's a 3v2 at the moment. Yi heading down here as well. It looks
Aurelion
like
Sol's also on the move, so watch out there, because once Sol gets up, that could be a very massive star coming in.
Oh, Draven moving forward aggressively. Rakan here as well. Quickness going to be stopped up. Draven is extremely low. Ash wants to finish him off, but Dive comes into the side. Ash is the first victim. The Draven axe is slamming through everyone. Yi picks up a double kill, and it's a 3-man murder. Team Middle Child winning massively in the bottom lane. Delicious Seal. 1, 2, 3 takes out Thresh on the opposite side. Finally getting on the Sealy things that we know him so well for. Should be able to freely push, but first turret goes down for Middle Child, getting that extra gold bonus. Who am I kidding? Aurelion Sol already got in the mid lane. I apologize.
Well, and even Seal finally coming online and beginning to do Sealy things like we're used to, it may be too little too late here, as his team is already down 7,000 gold and 2 towers.
And he backs in the top lane. Instead of pushing in onto the top turret, decides to back and buy before coming back in. Ooh. Little extra damage before backing out, but not quite enough to cancel the recall. How does that work anymore? Because
there's a safe period. Like, I think it's I believe it's the last 0.2 seconds of your recall. If you take damage within the last 0.2 seconds, it does not count and does not cancel your recall.
There we go. Because I've been hit a time or two in recalling, and I'm like, for a second or for a while, I was like, maybe I know they made some changes. But I was like, maybe it's only abilities, kind of like the Blade of the Ruined King wasn't technically a champion
coming
ability.
In on top lane.
It was a item ability. Dive finds a control ward. Hey, somebody's keeping an eye out for him. Gonna clear that up and stop the dive in the top lane. Who am I kidding? So Jace is around the corner. Dive realizes he may be in a spot of trouble. Can we get the CC chance we're looking for from Team Ollie? Dive gets the dark passage. Wait, the Chair Crystal Arrow flying in. Dive walks back in. The crystal doesn't hit him though. I believe it just flew underneath the turret. Jax, in the meantime, did fall. Thresh able to pick that one up. And here comes the Alpha striking. Yi getting good damage down. Enzlor and Trouble. Zeno with massive damage. Delicious Seal trying to smash through. Can he be enough? And the double kill from Zeno. Look at the damage. This Thresh is exploding out. Doesn't even care about your Annie. 5, 3, and 5. Storm Razor Thresh. What?
Storm Razor Thresh, that's what, here's the thing, when you're playing an AD Thresh, that's what Thresh is all about, because if he waits between attacks as Alkaline is blown up in the bottom lane, if he waits between attacks, his Flay deals bonus damage, and so he's taking advantage of that with Storm Razor, and Storm Razor's already stacking up his damage for waiting, and so with a Flay on top of Storm Razor allows even more damage on that first hit.
The stun doesn't go down. Rakan gonna be burned away. 1-for-1 trade in the bottom lane, but Draven doesn't care. Just doing Draven things at this point. Walking through the bottom lane, Delicious Seal shows up, sword on his back. He starts the ultimate, ready to go, and flies in chains. But the QSS from Draven keeps him alive for a moment. Mercurial Scimitar tries to save him, but will still fall. And finally, they shut down the 6, now 3 and 4 Draven. But as we said, it might be a little bit too little, a little bit too late. What can Team Ollie do at this point against a 5, 3, and 5 Storm Razor, Static Shiv, Thresh, and a 7-0 and 6 Aurelion Sol in the mid lane?
Not much. Not much. Their best bet is probably to be looking for opportunities to pick off the Aurelion Sol. The problem is that's one of the harder champions to nail down and pick off, just because of his massive mobility, especially now that he's sitting on that Banshee's Veil. He's able to negate CC.
Just like that, nice little knockback with the ultimate as well. Annie here, though, tries to throw the damage down. Tipper's not available, though. The stun lands for a moment, but she's CC chained up, and that's really been the key for this game is CC chains. Middle Child just laying it out right. Nice stun onto Yi underneath the turret. Does the Jax live? He finally finishes off a kill. Yi being able to pick that one up as is traded over Aatrox for the finish. And now the mid lane turret under siege, but it is a 3v2. Draven free pushing in the bottom lane. Seal trying to clear out these minions from a distance, but Alkaline SN has nothing to give. The damage from the Thresh auto attack blows up the Aatrox, and he's gone, and so is this mid lane second tier turret.
So something I wanted to point out here, I'm looking at the last fight there in the jungle where DRF Dive manages to avoid getting deleted here. Going back into it, watch the play from DRF Xeno here. Xeno walks in, lands an auto attack onto Enzlor to get the kill. He could land another auto attack here, but instead holds it for a moment. Auto attacks to get some massive damage onto Social Bun, flays, and then would be holding the auto attack again. So Xeno's doing a fantastic job holding his auto attacks until he gets his Storm Razor and his first level of his Flay passive back up in order to deal maximum damage with this Thresh AD. It's a crazy concept, but in this case it's being played to perfection by DRF Xeno.
He is doing it well and knows exactly what he's doing. We got back in time to watch the bottom lane inhibitor turret fall. They're moving on to the inhibitor itself. I think Xeno could just walk up and finish it off with one auto attack, but instead he's waiting for the opportunity to pick onto somebody. Little knockback onto Social Bun from the Draven. Just stand aside to keep them from moving forward. She had stun up and available, but unable to do much about that. There is an Infernal Drake on the map, and it looks like he's headed there to pick that one up for the side of Middle Child.
Yeah, Team Ollie needs to just be backed off right now. They're down in levels across the board. The only person that is even tied with their counterpart right now is Delicious Seal on this Aatrox, tied at level 12 with Xeno. Otherwise, they are down in levels. They need to be back as close to their towers as they can, farming this up right now.
Oh, Delicious Seal finds Phantom of Tempt. The Alpha Strike keeps alive for a moment, lines up for the chain CC, and he's going to be gone. But I think Xeno probably could 1v1 the Aatrox at this point as Rakan and Draven and Dive going to be finishing off the bottom lane inhibitor turret. They want to find Social Bun. She's over the wall in dangerous territory. The quickness charms her up. She lives for a moment and then falls. Draven being chased in by the Jax, but he can't find the damage. Axes do more damage than the lamp from Jax. Brand also going to fall. Flay forces a flash out from Ashe. She may be in trouble. Delicious Seal gets the last auto attack to finish off her Khan, but Draven's damage is just so strong. Triple kill as well for him, and that should be at least some damage onto these Nexus turrets. But I think at this point, Middle Child, realizing they're so far ahead, are just going to keep grabbing kills as people spawn from the Nexus.
Carol dropped back in Fountain, back in base. It's going to end up going down mid lane, which if they push it out properly, they might be able to take mid tower before Rift Herald gets there. We'll see if they push it though.
Charlie's just slow walking her way. Down
Oh my gosh.
3/4 of his health, Xeno just blows to Jace's with one auto. And this is what I mean. He's holding his auto attacks, waiting for an opportune moment to just explode. He might one-shot Enzlor at this point. That is a squishy Brand who really doesn't have anything. Flash
There's
forward
the flash auto.
let the Aurelian Soul poke him a little bit. And flash auto attack. Let's see this again. Oh my gosh.
And he's got static shift
down
out
to half.
too.
Static
Oh
as well,
man.
but he hits a minion. It's gonna bounce around. Dive grabs the inhibitor. Oh my goodness. Middle Child wanting to end this game. Rift Herald slamming into the turret. I don't think we'll get to see Shelly dance, unfortunately. She may go down for the end of the game. Social Bun knocked to half with one auto attack. Delicious Seal tries to get in and distract. Flash is safe for a moment. Will be hooked up. Will go down. Quickness from Rakan guaranteeing a kill on the Ashe as well. And Rakan gets his own kill for that as he has built a bit more of that AP Rakan damage, because it is all damage all day from the side of Middle Child. Dive in trouble for his moment, but I don't know that Jace's has it in him to finish him off. Ignite ticking away. The Jack so low, he tries to jump, will fall, and so will the Nexus, as Brand will be the last casualty from the side of Team Ollie as they have fallen victory to Middle Child in grand style.
I love AD Thresh.
I'm doing something I never
sorry.
do, and that is I'm actually
Okay.
backing up before the end of the game just long enough so that I can hit X here and see how much gold. Thresh was still sitting on 4,000 gold. I mean, at the end of the game, because he just hung around, just boom, auto attack, boom, auto attack. What?
AD Thresh now, to be fair, there were 2 other members that did this, but AD Thresh actually did more damage to champions than the Aurelion Sol. The only person who did more damage in that game was Raven. And that was only a 1,400 damage difference, 1,400 damage difference between the 2 of them. Crazy damage coming out of this AD Thresh. It feels weird to say, even though I play it myself sometimes.
That is insane. What I love from Middle Child is they went in with a plan. They went in saying, you guys have chain CC, but we're going to come at you with damage. We're going to build ADC Thresh, AP Rakan, full damage everywhere across the board, and we're just going to burst you. I mean, how many of those fights were like slow, just beat you up, you beat me up, let's auto attack, a little auto attack there. Almost all of those fights were just massive burst damage from the side of Middle Child.
Well, in Middle Child, if it had been an extended fight, Middle Child would have lost it.
Mm-hmm.
They needed that big pop, and that's exactly what they got, especially once they got that Storm Razor finished on DRF Xeno with this Thresh. It was just pop, you're dead. You didn't fail Ollie, Lozo. You did not fail Ollie. He's not crying in bed. He's not, he fell asleep. That was your problem, is you named your team after somebody who was going to sleep.
Oh,
so your decision making wasn't there.
Also, by the way, just in case you weren't aware, the entire stream has dedicated Ollie to being Wraith 3.0. So,
okay. Ollie's Wraith 3.0. Okay.
Ollie shall grow up to take on the Wraith mantle and become the next great analyst caster for XLNC Casting. He's crying in his dream. Whoa, with Seal doing Sealy things. So that game, again, he got the most kills of his entire team. Go ahead and roll through MVPs and honorable mentions for the losing team, which was that Team Ollie.
All right, MVP and honorable mention for Team Ollie. We are going to give the honorable mention over to... I'm going to give it to Social Bun, actually. A lot of the time, the CC chains that were present in the small skirmishes and the fights that did happen were started off with Social Bun charging up that stun and managing to land it, be it off of a Tibbers or off of a not Pyroclasm, that's a brand ability, but the Fire Wave. So a good job of starting the CC chains when they were available. Unfortunately, Social Bun did fall behind early and fell behind very far. Ended up getting Flame Horizoned by the end of the game. 73 farm to 178 from DRF Dive. Which, I mean, it happens sometimes. Sometimes you have a rough game, have a rough matchup, and you can't do as much as you would have done. But Social Bun did what she could, and that's what counts. I am going to give the MVP over to Delicious Seal. Despite falling behind early, Seal did manage to come back and actually put some solid work in on this Aatrox. Unfortunately, by the time that Aatrox did start to come online and turn it around, it was basically they just had to shut down Seal and the game was over. And so they turned and shut down Seal as best they could. You notice most of the fights there, they would focus down Seal before doing anything else to any other members of the team, and as a result, there's not much you can do when it's a 5v1.
Exactly. It's just going to be a little hard to carry your entire team, but he still did the best that he could. Especially a couple of plays in the top lane worked out despite dives pretty nicely. For the side of the winning team, Middle Child, we have honorable mention going over to DRF Dive, who did exactly what you want on Aurelion Sol. Push the lane, roam. Push the lane, roam. Push the lane, roam. If I had a stats team, I'd love to have the stats on how often he was roaming rather than being in his own lane. He also got mid lane turret, so that tells you how hard he was pushing his lane out and made massive effect on the opposite sides of the map. That said, I say that every time. I'm going to stop saying it, guys. I'm going to stop saying it. But eventually. DRF Xeno on Thresh. How can you not give this guy MVP for his insane damage? I almost had the same stat line as Draven, but even more so than playing a completely off-meta, ridiculous champion in a crazy lane, was the fact that he brought so much pressure because of that. How many times do we see fights in the top lane? How many times do we see people trying to dive in and him either barely living or getting trade of kills? That takes nothing away from Phantom of Temp's good ganks in the bottom side and Rakan's insane gauges, 2, 3, and 18. How many double kills did they get in the bottom lane? Draven, 10 and 3, making huge use of that. Starting off as his first item, building the Mercurial Scimitar to get that anti-CC against a team that brought so much hard CC to the table. So many of these members from Team Middle Child did an amazing job. It's really hard to pick it all out, but at the end, I mean, Xeno's damage was just impressive.
It was too much.
Just insane. Just insane. So now you know if Xeno is playing in the game, maybe consider banning Thresh.